My coverage of Computex 2016 is proudly sponsored by Fractal Design, MSI, and G-Skill. EVGA. EVGA has not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 new Pascal-based GPUs here. I'm just going to start talking about them. How's that sound? I'm going to start off actually with this one, because this is the very first GTX 1070 that I have actually laid hands on. And believe it or not, it's a custom design one. That's right. It does use the reference PCB for the GTX 1070, but this is the ACX 3.0 cooler by EVGA. They've done some different design work from it. It's definitely very distinct from the ACX 2.0 that we've seen in the past, but they're aiming for about 10% reduction in thermals, as well as about 30% reduction in sound. And of course, these still have the feature where the fans don't spin up if they don't need to. And it's also got some LEDs. So you got white LEDs for the logo on the front. You also have some white LEDs kind of embedded across the front of the card here. So if you're looking at it this way, or if you have one of those cases where you can reposition the card, you'll have a nice view of that. Other than that, it's got pretty standard features for a 1070. It is a super clock edition, so it's going to come overclocked from the factory, from EVGA, and it has just the standard 8-pin power connector like the GTX 1070 has. So we also have a superclock version of the GTX 1080. Hey, that's right there. This one also 8-pin power, also has the same cooler, also has the LED effects. These are white LEDs, but they do have RGB LEDs in their higher end versions. Again, pretty much the same cooler, the same look, and the same everything, but it's a 1080 and it's going to be overclocked, so that's pretty cool. Now, EVGA has been getting some more recognition, that's the word I'm looking for their hybrid cards. So this is a 1080 hybrid, so it's got the enclosed cooler here at the front, or the shroud, I should say, with a single fan to keep your VRMs and power delivery cool. This does have a custom PCB. They've added an additional power connector, so you got 2 8-pin PEG connectors. It is, of course, all-in-one loop connected to a 120 millimeter radiator and fan down there, which I'm letting hang down precariously. And EVGA is going to also be making an additional version of this card, which we have a few sort of examples of in the special case that they made over there, that will have quick disconnects as well. So that kind of means like it's 2 cards, but I'm only going to count it as 1 because we don't have the other version. They do have a Founders Edition here, but we don't care about that. Next up we have the For the Win, which I'm not holding right now, but I do have some B-roll of it for you. The For the Win upgrades you to a custom PCB. You get dual 8-pin power connectors, of course, and it features RGB LED lighting across the shroud. Other than that, it does have the custom PCB, so the shroud is a little bit different. It's a little bit larger. It's going to keep things a little bit cooler, and of course, the For the Win versions are typically overclocked a little bit more. Now, if you've dealt with EVGA cards in the past, after For the Win comes Classified. Classified is typically the highest end apart from the Kingpin card. We don't have any Kingpin 1080s here. I don't know if they're working on one. They wouldn't tell me. But the Classified does look pretty nice, adding some red accents, which makes things faster. Red is usually faster, sometimes. Anyway, it's also featuring the ACX 3.0 cooler, or a variant thereof, and it's got this actually funny little connector going on right here. This is what is known as the power adapter, and basically it's like a 6-pin or 8-pin PEG power extension. So it wraps your power around the side of the card and puts it there on the back of it. Remember back when they used to actually put power connectors on that, like that on graphics cards, and we were like, well, it adds extra length to the card. Well, you know, if you have enough space for it, then you might want to wrap your cables around and route them a little bit differently and give yourself just sort of a cleaner look overall. And it adds you the bonus of giving you a white LED backlit EVGA logo to shine forth proudly, as well as the EVGA LED logos that are scattered throughout the rest of this card. And this one also, of course, features RGB LED support. Next up, we got some high bandwidth SLI bridges. These are the ones that you might have seen at the NVIDIA event that we already covered. 2-way SLI is what these are supporting. If you guys watched that, you know that NVIDIA is only really pushing towards 2-way support now. So they don't currently have plans to make 3-way or 4-way versions of this. They said their old 3-way and 4-way adapters will still work, but anyway, we'll get into that later. This does have a light up logo here for the EVGA, and it also features a switch down on the bottom. So you switch that switch, and you can do red, green, blue, or white. 4 different color options, which, you know, if you have that prominently displayed in your case, should give you a much better option for making things look pretty and match. EVGA also showed off a case. They kind of have a hard-on for cases. If you get that joke, then you know what other cases EVGA has designed before. This is the DG87. They're actually coming out with a few different variants of this one. This is the highest end. Features a very unique design. It's kind of an asymmetrical look. It gives you a really good look in the side panel window. Right now they have it outfitted with 4-way GTX 1080s, and those are are 4-way GTX 980 Ti's, but they do have the quick disconnects, which we're told they will also be bringing to the EVGA hybrid cooler as well, so that's pretty exciting. It is fully kitted out, of course, but there's going to be different variants of this without a window, without the little LED panel at the bottom, so you'll have options, but between about $170 and $230 are the price points of the DG87, 86, 85, and 84, and I think a lot of people are going to be interested in this case because it has a very distinct look, very clean. It has the feature where the motherboard is kind of inset from the back of the case, so it gives you the option to route your cables not out the back via your motherboard I/O, but you can tuck them all down through a little grommet out the side, and again, nice clean cable management for your case, whether it's up on your desk or, God forbid, down on the floor. Two more quick items. One is the X99 for the Win K. This is a new version of the X99 motherboard from EVGA. It's EATX. It's a little bit bigger. It's a little bit fancier. I don't know all the bits and pieces and details here, but I just wanted to show this to you guys because Broadwell E just launched. This, of course, is going to be fully compatible. And for anyone who's looking for a new X99 board for a Broadwell E chip, I think this might be a very viable option. Perhaps I might consider reviewing it in the future. Maybe. One final thing is they have some new power supplies on display. I found one that was pretty compelling, which is a 1,000-watt gold power supply, which is only 150 millimeters long. So 150 millimeters, fully modular. Silverstone is the only power supply maker who I've seen who has a really compelling variety of options in this category. And since EVGA has really been killing it in the power supply market, it's nice to see this option presented as well. That's all for the EVGA booth, though. I want to say one last quick thank you to my sponsors. That is Fractal Design, MSI, and G-Skill. I'll be right back with more coverage from Computex 2016.